I could be tweeting about the cool video I just saw, but instead, I'm saving the family some money.
Have your new driver take our online course.
Quincy Notre Dame improves to 32-1 with the victory and advances to tomorrow's Class 2A state championship, where they'll play the winner of Breese Central and Stillman Valley. With us from Quincy Notre Dame are Shannon Foley, head coach Eric Orn, Cassidy Gengenbacher, and Jordan Frericks. Coach, would you start us off with some thoughts on the game?
Well, we came out and we used our press to get a couple steals, but basically we got in a little bit of foul trouble there in the first quarter, so we had to drop back into our half-court man, and really from there our half-court man took over, and that's the backbone of our defense, and it's been that way. I've been saying that for a long time now, and we used that half-court defense really to bust open the game, I thought, there in the first half, and to build up that 20-point lead, and from there we were able to start the second half with that 14-2 run. And from there, we just kind of we do what we do, and then there's no denying it. These girls have worked hard from day one, and I'm just excited that again they're playing for a state championship, and I couldn't be more proud.
Shannon, 4 or 5 from 3-point range tonight. I think maybe a career high in scoring for you. What got into you tonight from the outside?
I have no idea. Coach said in our last practice that they're going to be all over Cassidy because they know she's a shooter, and our other guards are going to have to step up and hit some shots, so I think that's what we did tonight. When we were open, we shot, and I think that's what's successful for us.
I was watching you in warm-ups. It looked like you hit about 5 in a row in warm-ups. I mean, did you notice that at all before the game that you were?
I had no idea. I mean, I just practiced, and I guess it was a good night.
Jordan, in the second half, quiet first half by your standards, got a lot of things going in the second half. What types of things were you able to do that you noticed to really get more into the flow of the game, you think, in the second half?
Well, I mean, Shannon was knocking down some big shots, and she had the first half going for her, and I mean, it's just kind of stepping up. She stepped up a lot first half, and then I just think the rest of us kind of came, she kind of set the tone for us, and we kind of went off of her, and so I just thought second half come out just like she did pretty much.
Coach, they started making a little bit of a run there in the second quarter, or maybe it was late first quarter, I don't remember exactly. You were on the bench and then put her back in and went on a run yourself. How did putting Tori back in there impact things in that stretch?
Tori is one of our senior leaders, and I think her presence in there just kind of calmed everybody down. And obviously, in this part of the year, the teams are going to make runs in the state semifinals, and that's what they were doing. So you go back to your senior leaders, and it's just like Shannon stepping up and knocking down those threes. That was huge, and that's just Jordan coming back there in the second half and really playing with a lot of energy, and then we set the tone. So our seniors, are good leaders of this group, and that's what you have to have this time of year.
Cassidy, do you think the pressure's off you girls now that you're back in the state championship game now? You've removed any doubt that about last year. You've gone wire to wire as the #1 team. Do you feel any less pressure going into tomorrow night now?
Yeah, well, I think we were so anxious to get to the state championship, and now that we're finally here, it's kind of a sigh of relief, but we still have, at the beginning of the season, we always talked about taking 7 steps in the postseason, and so we have our 7th step tomorrow night, and we can't, we can celebrate tonight for a little bit, but tomorrow morning it's back to getting focused, and because what we really wanted this season was a state championship, so we can't just give up now. We still have to keep striving to get what we were looking for at the beginning of the season.
Cassie, the big three, you, Tori, and Jordan, a little bit contained in the first half, and Shannon obviously went off. Do you think the team recognized that Shannon was shooting well? And if so, what were you guys trying to do?
Yeah, well, I think that's what's so great about our team. We have so many threats. We don't have to count on one person to score every time. And I just think that's what a great compliment to our team. If anyone's having an off night, someone's going to step up like Shannon did tonight. And we just have so many threats that makes us so successful that we know we can go to any person, and we always have 5 scorers out on the court at all times. So that's just what's great about us.
Yes.
Coach, forgive me if you addressed this at the start, but it seems you had Shannon deny their leading scorer everywhere in the half court, and if I'm not mistaken, she didn't get an attempt till the second quarter.
Well, we rest on our defense, and obviously Shannon and Jordan are our two top defenders, and we knew Shannon, just watching a little film, could give her a lot of trouble, and she did. She pestered her, and we expect that. When you take their best score and you kind of shut them down, that changes what their game plan. So these kids do amazing things. You go back to the Springfield game early in the year, that Zoe Medley didn't score in the first quarter, and she's probably one of the best guards in the state. So little things like that obviously make a big difference.
Jordan. I was just curious if you guys ever wonder what you could do in 3A or even 4A.
I'd like to answer that. Okay. These girls, and we had a moment today where we thought about Brett Miller, who's a football coach at Quincy Notre Dame. He had brain surgery, brain tumor. So I think we said obviously a prayer for that, and I think when you look at this, we've been blessed obviously as a great team this year. Okay, we're sit back and enjoy these girls. Okay, it's not about what class they are. They're 16 and 17-year-old girls, and they're enjoying the moment. Don't talk about different classes or anything like that, because that's not important. Okay, there's 4 classes. That's what the IHSA has set up, and these girls have done everything I've ever asked of them. I mean, people need to sit back and enjoy this, because there's obviously more things in life. So I don't look at it at that, and we certainly want to send our prayers out to the Miller family.
Well, I asked it because, like you said, what the IHSA has set up, they have let teams petition up if they want. And I think there's only 2 teams in the state in any sport that have done it. So, but it is set up, and you guys are such an extraordinary team.
Well, you know what? When after Saturday night, everybody can debate it, and people can debate that around the state. But you know what? These girls are playing in 2A basketball, and they're trying to be the best in 2A basketball, and that's where it ends.
Coach, to jump in on that, that column suggested that your team wasn't challenging itself this season. You played Rockbridge, you played Edwardsville, you played at Springfield High.
Our schedule speaks for itself. I mean, Springfield High is playing for a sectional championship. Obviously, Edwardsville is in a sectional, or super sec. The teams we played: Rockbridge, number 1 in 5A, Incarnate Ward the year before. There's no questioning our schedule. That's why. I mean, people are looking at our scores and saying, "Wow, maybe they should be doing this." But you know what? Because they've worked hard. There's no questioning it. Realistically, we don't even talk about that, because we're worried about tomorrow's date and what happens tomorrow night, either against Breese Central or Stillman Valley.
2 more questions?
Jordan, one of the things that stood out to me were the second chance points. He's wondering if you could comment on that.
Well,
Offensive rebounding in particular.
Well, sorry. I tried, getting my second rebound. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. Well, I kind of struggle with that sometimes, going up strong my first time, but then, getting my own rebound, I kind of, just settle myself down and, kind of get my feet underneath me and go up strong the second time, I guess.
Coach, you see the fat heads passing around there in the student section. There was one of yourself, one of Principal Hyman. Any thoughts on those?
Our student body is great. They've always, every year we've come up here, we pack that place, and they come up with new and great ideas. They're making it fun. I think our kids are enjoying the moment, and obviously our student body. And it goes back to the QND family. They just want to have fun with this. They enjoy the girls, and what great support here from administrative and all.
Shannon, did you see the likeness of Coach Horn passed around throughout?
Definitely. Our students love him. They love to tease him and give him a hard time, but it's all in good fun.
He had a scowl on his face.
Well, that's because I was getting razzed on the bench about missing a belt loop or something else. It didn't matter.
Coach, what was your last loss to an in-state school?
I think it was Springfield High about 2 or 3 years ago.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, Quincy.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
If you're going to continue interviews, please move down into the hallway, because Aurora's going to be coming in. Bill, can you guys go in the hallway? Aurora Central Catholic is now 25-7 on the season. Will play for the Class 2A third place trophy tomorrow at 6:30. With us from Aurora Central Catholic is Ashley Wilk, head coach Mark Fitzgerald, and Jackie Cordona. Coach, would you start us off with some thoughts on the game?
We knew we were in for a challenge, guys, and that is one fine team. And I'm not ashamed of my team. I think that they battled to the very end. I think that in many cases we were overmatched with size. I don't know what they shot, but they shot. What is the percentage they shot? Anybody tell me? They shot very well. I can tell you that. I'm not going to say because it's a first experience for us. I'm just not going to do that. You know what? We're not just happy to be here, and we ran into an excellent team, very well coached team, and that's the end of that story tonight. But I'm still very proud of my kids. Yes.
Playing off your last thought, I mean, you had scores like 27-7 and whatever it was at halftime, and didn't feel like you guys were nervous or even playing poorly. Do you agree with that?
Tonight, we weren't nervous?
I mean,
No, I don't think we were nervous. I think that their defense forces. We do well when we can pass the ball in our motion offense and work our backdoor cuts. And their defense, for the most part, took that away tonight, which forced us into too many one-on-one, too much dribbling, and that was the tale. So we had to end up taking 4 shots versus typically our offense works for layups and we get fouled. Again, I didn't know how many foul shots we took tonight. We only took 12. So usually it's 3 to 4 times that, quite honestly. Once again, very well coached team.
It seemed at the time, Coach, that your perimeter players lost sight of where Foley was, and she was knocking down some big threes against you in that first half.
Yes.
Almost unconscious. It's almost like when she hit that first one, it's like, okay, she's going to shoot tonight.
Yeah. No, we did lose track of her, and she was hot. There's no doubt about it. She played an excellent game.
How much of that comes into preparing for the other weapons that QND has?
Well, you gotta pick your poison. It's like we're gonna try and take 15 away, and we're gonna try and double down on the post, and there's only so many things you can do, and a team that's shooting that well, that moves that well, and has the size they have. I mean, their length was. I mean, this lady here can rebound, and she's rebound like a champion her whole career here. Obviously she had trouble tonight working against that size.
Jackie, what was your biggest problem getting on track offensively tonight?
Their defense, they would do like trapping in every corner, and we weren't making our shots, a lot of our easy baskets, so it was harder to get started on our offense. But they hit a lot of their shots and we didn't. So.
Ashley, how long will you girls dwell on this game, or are you already past it, thinking about coming out tomorrow and finishing your season with a win?
I don't think we're past it yet, but I think that this game is definitely going to be a motivation for the next one. And this game we'll be thinking about it tonight, and it'll be our drive to win tomorrow.
Coach, you've heard about Quincy Notre Dame a lot coming into this matchup. After seeing them in person, playing against them, what reaction do you walk away with?
Well, listen, we have Montini in our conference, and we have we play them twice. I'd like to see that matchup this year. Let's put it that way. I think that's one excellent team in QND, and my hat's off to them. That's a great collection of very good basketball players. So I think they compete favorably with just about anybody.
Coach, I'll ask you to say some things you've probably said to your local press a lot, but coming from 3 wins, coming to where you've come, is it A, reflect on that, and B, just kind of bounce that off Quincy and like that one more step to do or whatever?
Right. I mean, we as a program went from when I first got here hoping that we wouldn't lose to where now we expect to win. And when you make that transition, we expect to win. So we expected to win tonight. I mean, we have to. You have to be positive. And when you don't, it sets you back. We see where the program needs to go, but that does not take anything away from these seniors that have, particularly these two and Caitlin Rosa, who basically decided that 3 years ago, excuse me, that enough was enough, and we needed to change this program around, and that's what they've done. They've been the leaders that have carried this program to where today we are a respected opponent, and yes, we have to move to that next level, and we see what that is.
Coach, one of the things the two things that stood out to me in the first half were the turnovers and their second chance.
Yes.
Can you talk about that and how much that hurt?
It hurt that players that normally don't do that made those mistakes tonight, and and they feel bad about it. And I can tell you they're still quality players and kids, but that defense forces players who don't normally make those kind of mistakes to make that bad pass when they probably shouldn't. And that puts that much more pressure on Jackie here, who has to carry the load as far as taking control of the offense.
One more question. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
One way or the other. That's it. Yeah, 3 quarters. Hey, 4 quarters. Yeah. Just did. That's no for the 3 quarters. Hey, yes. Yeah, I've got Lorna, Tyra, Mason, and Paige. We have now with us our Class 2A Country Financial 3-point showdown shooters, Mason Whipple from Byron, Tyra Buss from Mount Carmel, Lorna Hopper from Riverton, and Paige Rockers from Carlisle. And it looks like Paige Rockers is our Class 2A champion in a shoot-off. Girls, you just want to tell us, let's just have everybody go through and tell us a little bit about the experience and how it felt to shoot out there tonight.
It was very nervous at first, but practicing beforehand gave me a lot of confidence, and I would have rather went first than last.
Yeah, I agree with her. It was very, very nerve-wracking. But like she said, practice definitely helped.
I was also a little bit nervous. I wasn't as bad as what I have been in the past, but yeah, practice definitely helps a lot.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with everyone, but I'd say it was a little more nerve-wracking for me here since there's so many more people.
How do you put that out of your mind when you're shooting with that bigger background, with the bigger crowd, with everybody cheering?
You just got to picture that you're where you are when you practice, and you got to zone it out no matter how hard it is.
Yeah, I really just zone in. I ignore everybody around me. I don't even notice them.
Yeah, I agree. I just focus in on me in the basket and shooting and just what I have been practicing.
Yeah, I just try to focus on the basket.
How far did each of you girls go in the postseason, and how did you prepare to make it this far down? Yeah, team-wise.
We made it to the regional championship, and we lost to Central by 6, and they're actually up here, and they play the next game. And, yeah, they're a very good team.
Were you really kind of on your own after you lost that regional championship practice?
I was the only one that advanced after the very first round from my team.
Yeah, and then I was the only one that advanced to the regional championships for my team, so I was on my own also.
I had another girl that advanced with me to the regional championship, but then I was on my own after the regional championship.
Yeah, I was the same with her. There was one girl that advanced to the regional championship.
So did you girls shoot every day then? Did you shoot a certain number of threes to try to get some rhythm going?
Yeah, after school I practiced in our gym, or sometimes during school because our boys would have practice, and I would do the same thing. We had 3 racks set up, and I would shoot for 45 seconds. I'd do it for about a half an hour every day.
I also went after school, and then I would make sure I shot 7 rounds each time.
I went after school too, and I shot for about 30 minutes each rack, corners, and practicing the 3 racks.
Yeah, I went every day after school and did basically the same.
Any more questions? Thank you, girls. Congratulations.
Thanks, girls.
Thank you.